Welcome to the Pharmacy Frontiers podcast. We're excited to come to you today from the St. Louis College of Pharmacy with a couple of professors to introduce a new student podcast called The Dose of Knowledge. Let me remind everyone that the Pharmacy Frontiers podcast is available for streaming on your favorite podcast app, whether it's Apple, Podbean, Spotify, or YouTube. And the comments and opinions shared today are those of our hosts and our guests. They're not official statements of the MPA, Mercy, Mitchell Pharmacy, nor the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy. I'm Daniel Good. I'll serve your co-host today along with Tim Mitchell. Today we welcome Dean Terry Warholak and Professor Stephanie Lucas from the St. Louis College of Pharmacy.
Hi.
Welcome, both of you. We appreciate you joining us here. We've had a lot of fun the last several weeks working with your students as we put together these student podcasts called A Dose of Knowledge. Tell us first, where did this come from? Where did this whole idea come from?
Yeah, thanks. So I am the director of Unique Pharmacy Career Pathways, and it gives me a great opportunity to talk to future employers about what are they looking for in our graduates. And so I've talked with a number of folks who said, we need more graduates who understand how to handle change. And they said, change is everywhere in pharmacy right now. And we said, well, isn't that convenient? We have a class called Leadership and Change already in our curriculum. And so we brought in Cotter's 8 Steps of Change model and started to think about how we could bring change into the classroom. And it's evolved into a podcast.
And I'll jump in here. We decided on the topic, which was the pharmacist shortage and pharmacy as a profession and the great things that pharmacists can do, because I'm one of the co-founders, I suppose, of the coalition to move pharmacy forward here in Missouri. And that is a coalition formed with both colleges of pharmacy, us and the University of Missouri, Kansas City, as well as both pharmacy organizations, Missouri Pharmacists Association, as well as Missouri Health Systems Pharmacy Organization, in addition to the State Board of Pharmacy. We were all sitting around a table one day and realized that we should work together. And the thing that we decided to work together on first was conquering the pharmacist shortage. We have one now, and it's going to get a lot worse.
Well, I think you guys need to be applauded for this idea, because I will tell you, I've never been in a profession that has to be so nimble and make changes so quickly because of all the things that have happened. I mean, a good example is the pandemic that we just went through a few years back, and how pharmacists were able to pivot. Some weren't, but many were, and really made a difference in every community throughout the nation. So, applause to you guys for doing this for your students. I'm excited to see how these things are going to turn out and move forward. So I'm excited.
So we plan to release these student podcasts over the next 3 days in groupings. How many students do we have that are going to release podcasts?
So we have 12 different groups of students who are going to release podcasts. These are all students in their second year of pharmacy, and our groups range from 2 students. So we have our smallest group was 2 students, and they did a great podcast about advocacy in the profession, all the way to groups of 5. It was a lot of fun. They really enjoyed it. And the way that it worked is students went through all 8 stages of Cotter's change management process, and they got to pick a topic related to the pharmacist shortage and got to make a video and a podcast about how to get pharmacy students and high school students excited about pharmacy. So if you've got a high school student or an undergrad student or somebody that who's thinking, hey, maybe I should, think about this pharmacy profession, these would be great podcasts for them, because it's younger voices speaking to younger voices, and they're all talking about things that they're really excited about.
So Stephanie, this is a podcast not just for pharmacists or pharmacy students. This is something we ought to share with parents and grandparents and high school teachers, that they're going to be interested in hearing this kind of a career opportunity, is what you're saying.
I think you're right. So who in your life has a potential student who might be interested in going into pharmacy. It's great for them. It's great for teachers. It's also great for folks who just say, I want to learn more about pharmacy and what pharmacists do day to day. They can come and they can learn about what does pharmacy education look like? What do pharmacists do in all the different careers? There's more than 100 things that pharmacists do with their pharmacy careers. It's opportunities to look at what does post-grad education look like. And then there's even little videos or podcasts about things like stress management and how do you manage stress in pharmacy. But that could really be applied to any educational program or life in general, really.
I love that the podcasts are not just an audio recording of information, but it also comes with a QR code to take you to some written references, and including some of the things that you refer to of some tools and whatnot on how to explore pharmacy or how to manage day-to-day life stresses. I think that's a great format you've chosen.
Thank you. We have two, so all of our students created show notes, and you can find those by following the QR code. And we have two students, Melissa and Sophia, who we need to give a shout out to because they've been doing all kinds of work this semester with doing an extra special projects class. And they created our WordPress page. So you can follow that QR code and go online there to find out more about each of the individual episodes. They've also put on an email address. And so if you've got questions or you want to reach out, we're also happy to answer those questions.
So I hear there might be a little friendly competition among those 12 groups. Is that something we can share out loud?
Absolutely. So Melissa and Sophia have been helping us figure out how to best market the podcast and get the word out to high school students, guidance counselors, undergraduates, others who are interested in science. And one of the things that they came up with was having a competition amongst the students to see who can get their podcast spread the furthest in a time period. So we're going to have a launch party on the 8th of April where we're going to tell them about what we're going to do and tell them about the prizes we're going to offer for the winning podcast group and set them off to go and do what I think this generation does best, which is spread the word.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe it'll go viral, huh? That'd be great.
Right.
So is that a launch party I can crash on Tuesday?
Absolutely. We were hoping you would.
All right, I'll be there. And maybe we can even shoot a podcast recording or something live from there that we can get a little more buzz going around the campus.
There may be some pharmacists throughout the state, or even in other states for that matter, that might actually be able to be listening to this and be able to help share that. I don't know really, how you guys want to do it, but I would encourage any pharmacists in the area that are regular listeners to please share it with other, like I'm going to share it with my local high schools in my area here, and share it with, surrounding towns and so forth as well, with the counselors and with some of the students and various things like that. And we can get more listenership out of it as well. So that's very exciting. Good job.
You just gave me a great idea too. I think that the students interviewed superstar pharmacists for these podcasts on not every single episode, but a lot of them. And maybe those pharmacists can help to connect with their networks and send the podcasts out as well. So I think that'll be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you're right in that you've already got a great built-in audience. So if you're listening to this and you're normally a Pharmacy Frontiers follower, share it with the folks that you know in your life. It's still available on all the same platforms. So we thank you very much for hosting this podcast for us and allowing us to use your built-in audience and your resources. So thank you very much for that. I'll put a plug in to anybody listening. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, especially if you've got a younger person in your life. The students are telling me YouTube is going to be the most popular of the ones. So we'll see.
Good to know.
That is perfect. That's a great plug. Thank you very much, Stephanie. we're not quite the viral sensation that some of the national sports media has, but
we're not the Kelsey brothers.
Thousands of listeners. There are thousands of listeners and hundreds of subscribers that come into us. So we're hoping that we can double that literally by partnering with you at the school to get that many more listeners to the podcast. And then we can use this as a launch group for even more podcasts in the future.
Absolutely. You guys are really bringing the younger generation, the future of this profession along. And if there's any way that we can continue to try to partner with you all and do some creative things, then we will be more than happy to do it. I can see a couple of these, students hosting podcasts on here, just like what we're doing, and having the video and everything here before long. I got ideas rolling in my mind right now about how we could possibly do this. So very excited. So.
Well, thank you both for the collaboration. Working together with you, we're going to take this a lot further than we would have by ourselves. So we really appreciate both of you and Pharmacy Frontiers. And this class is every year. So this coming fall, we have a whole new host of second-year pharmacy students who will be looking for topics. So we can sit down and think about what your readers, listeners, or viewers might want to see and make that happen.
Yeah, we don't have readers. We have listeners and viewers.
Well, I mean, we have little web pages now.
That's true. That's very true. So,
well, Stephanie, give us a little summary as a closing thought, and then we'll wrap this up.
So first, I want to reiterate our thanks for partnering with us. Our students put a lot of time and effort and blood, and hopefully not blood, but passion into their podcasts. And so we're so excited to be able to have them disseminated on your platform. I want to give a shout out to all of our students who worked so hard on these, and to the superstars who let our students interview them and use their knowledge to pass on. I want to give a shout out to Melissa and Sophia for all of your hard work this semester in making this come to fruition. And also say, this is going to be a yearly event. So if you have topics that you want to hear moving forward, please feel free to reach out to any of us. And for all of you who are listening, please spread the word to anybody that you know in your life who might be interested in exploring the sciences and want to learn more about what pharmacy looks like.
What a great summary. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Lucas. Thank you, Professor Warholak, for joining us. And thank you to our listeners. And be prepared for these student broadcasts to be dropped here in the next couple of days so that everyone can listen to it. They can share it on their social media sites. And until then, please remember, it's a good day to be in pharmacy.